Nice. Everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're going to be taking a look at Stray Kids District 9. We got a dance practice and we got a music video to take a look at. I also believe this would be considered their official debut, and I'm pretty pumped about it. I've already seen a couple of their pre-debut works as well as a couple of their more recent stuff from the time that I'm recording this. So this is kind of fun to see what their official debut looks like, and I have a feeling I have seen this choreo before, but it has been a good hot minute, probably around the time this came out, and I'll get into that probably whenever we do the analysis. So let's go ahead and get started. That camera, that was funny. Cool. Welcome to the world of BPM changes since debut, it looks like. Because that's how I felt with Megaverse. But it went from faster to slow. Ah. So interesting. Some of these choices, or at least where their weight is being presented. Okay. Nice. I liked that part. That was really cool. That's funny. I love the effort for that though. Nice. Ooh, that was nice. Okay. Nice. They get to catch its weight just a smidge for that. But hey, for one take, fantastic job. Nice. That one caught me off guard. Yeah. You know what? This does give me some like subtle, like that section before this, it gave me a little BAP vibes. You know what I mean? If you've ever dived into Gen 2, it just felt like that, you know? That was fun. Cool. District 9. Are they going to collapse out of it? No. Oh, good. Okay, so it looks very much like they had to take multiple takes. That's what that was. It's like, did we do it? Yes, we did it. Okay, great. Cool. All right, we got the music video. Let's do it. Right here. See if it loads. It loaded. We're off. Okay, I was wondering why it reminded me of BAP. It's because how they're utilizing Felix's deeper tone reminds me of Bong. It's the deep toned rapper of BAP. That's what it is. Ah. Yeah. Yes, it is. Oh, I'm so glad I made that connection. Love it. Nice. Oh, I love that they're having a little costume change in the bus. That's cool. So it's like they're escaping from conformity is what they're giving imagery-wise. Cool. Lyricism, of course. District 9. Why are you talking like you know me when I don't even know myself? That is deep. Very deep. District 9. I'm assuming it's wordplay. District 9. There's like Hunger Games conformity, right? District 9, but also there's 9 members at this time, so I would see like the double of that. Also, that footwork position, I got the power, because I do that choreo there. That's, yeah. I don't mind it at all. I like it. Bring it back. This gives the Gen 2 vibes for sure. Nice little shootout moment there. Cool. Hey, dope, dope. Like, love it. Let's have 3 different little masked title screens. That's cool. I really liked that. And as you were seeing me, I was clicking and making some things happen in my brain for sure. Like, that's so cool. They do give me BAP influence vibes, at least with this particular track. It also does remind me of like Monsta X Trespass vibes. I did say that about their previous one, their pre-debut, something along those lines. But also there was a group, Top Dog. I don't know if you ever remember them, but I had a couple of Top Dogs tracks in my Spotify playlist. So it's something where there's just a lot of like that, like the angsty vibe, but all pulling from different influences, but I like it. It's cool. Now, why have I actually seen this before? When I really wasn't watching K-pop at all at this time, I kind of stepped away at this point, and I'm glad to be back in this capacity where I get to really appreciate it, and part of me is really glad I kind of stepped away because I get to look at everything from a completely different lens, and I get to see it for the first time. In this case, I don't remember the song. I do remember some of the movement, not because of the overlap. It reminds me of BAP, but specifically I had a colleague, a friend of mine, or acquaintance, and she wanted to do K-pop covers, and this was the one that she picked. She's like, oh, let's do this one. You pick somebody and I'll pick someone. I'm like, okay, cool. And I was picking, and I think I made it to about the chorus. And then it just fizzled out, like our collab, you know, so I digress. It's been quite a few years, probably around the amount of time it was when this came out, honestly. So, and I think that's fine. It's cool to see it here. We can actually talk about it. Here we go. So this barrel, notice that they're doing a little add-on, or actually they're kind of peeling from the outside down to the inside. Really cool. That barrel, notice go barrel. So it's different than just subtly coming up. So they're accenting that little strum accent in the music. Really cool. Then right here at this point, so I've seen a lot of this as like an anchor glide is what I call it. It's not, I don't quite know the actual term for it. That's fine. It gives the illusion similarly to whenever you see the style gliding, which, you know, like the backslide, people call it the moonwalk because Michael Jackson called it the moonwalk, but it's technically called the backslide. That thing, pretty much that Juby slide, or people call it the slick back, but it's originally called the Juby slide. There's like all those things. But what they're doing here is they're actually using the arm that is hidden in theory. So like my guy right here, his is hidden, but his is here. But they're using their arms and they're subtly lifting the legs or feet off the ground in order to give the illusion that they're rotating in that way. So if you've ever been curious as to how to do it, that's how you do it. Your arms play a bigger role than you think they do, and the goal is to lift ever so slightly to where it gives the appearance that your foot is on the ground, but it is not. There's no weight on it, because if you have weight bearing on that, it's gonna stick, especially if it's a tennis shoe. So, and also wear pants. That helps. The slide through, having one of them in the center not do anything but create a nice moment with his hand. That was nice. They take it in. Very nice and quick to get into this particular position. Ding, ding. Now, I am going to talk about this. When it comes to tuts, this is something I do end up seeing sometimes. It's called the duck bill. That, just be mindful. I'm always it's just an observation I noticed with some of them. Boom. When it's really fast, where it's click, click, click like this, one takes, give the boy some grace. I feel that way. But this is just, and in general, if they haven't thought about it, what can really help make this look a lot cleaner is think about taking that middle finger, expanding it. Sorry, my cat just messed with the camera. That's okay. Anyway, but you're here. You want to be mindful of thinking about engaging from that middle finger and pulling it down. But it does require some wrist flexibility to make it more of a thing. So for me, I think about my wrist, not my wrist, that's my wrist, my middle finger. I push it over to really try to get rid of this little knuckle that's pushing up. But sometimes if you're just not flexible here, that's kind of the best you can do. And that's okay. You know, I always want to kind of strive to help in that way. But anyway, I do like that. Very clear what we're going for on that. I like that. Ding, ding. And it goes like that. And then they take the hands, hand. And the switch, I like that choice where they go and they take their hands as soon as they're down. You create two different levels, so half of them go lower like a push-up almost, and the others take their hands and they push them up, keeping the body where it is, and then they pull off of it. So I like that choice a lot. That's really cool. In, and then they go and out and out. So it's complementary, feels like little building blocks almost. I do appreciate the color coordination of the white with the black pants. They drop down, boom, boom, like that. Very first feature out the gate. Ding, ding, they take it. Nice grab near right above the knee. And they make, but they place all their weight on the leg that's down right here by the knee. And they're going to kick. Yeah, because if they put a ton of weight on the leg where their hand was on, it's gonna be harder or more labor to get that accent that quick. So it was good job on all of them for getting their weight in the right spot for that. They take it, they rotate around really nice. You notice they pick up that foot, they turn, they plant right on the side so they can all have great choice of positioning of their legs. Symmetrical, really fun. Still have your feature in the center. They're all looking to the outside, or, you know, kind of pushing their energy more to the outside. And then they go nice little chug or throw to get them closer to the inside, and then they drop. I like that. Boom. Then we rotate it around and in. I like that. Boom, doom, doom. Nice here. They take it. Boom, boom. Nice little throw as well. Turning it through. Ding, ding, ding. I like that as well. I'm enjoying everything I'm seeing so far. I like the choices. It feels like we have some good breathable moments in it. But there's a lot of tension and a lot of positioning that they're going for, and a lot of overlap and hybrid in choreo. I've talked about this often, and I think I talked about it specifically with a previous Stray Kids routine that I just looked at, that you're going to have a lot of times with K-pop choreo, especially around this era, or like when I look at debuts, it's going to cater more towards a heavy hybrid of choreography from a choreographer's perspective. You do have some groups that go heavy in a style, but a lot of times at debut, you do see more of like the go-to niche of the trend of the times, if that makes sense. But that's a very blanketed statement, very broad, and there's a lot of exceptions that go into that, of course. I'm just saying that in reference to here. Very hybrid in nature. And so you're going to see, you know, 1 to 2 techniques that fall under a particular category or style that comes with a different posture in comparison to doing like a glide or doing, you know, a speed change, things like that. But you do have a boogaloo umbrellaed elements throughout and trickled throughout that we can talk about and appreciate for sure. So of course with the tut, and of course that you see with a lot of the like the tension, bringing it through. I like the little kicks there. It's fun. Then you have them all very nice and still, and I like the camera moving. So it really showcases they are, in fact, still stopped in time almost. So I like that. They're not distracting. They're adding through the absence of movement. Looks great. Now, they're super still as well. Honestly, when you're very fatigued, that's a hard thing to do. So kudos and shout out to them for really holding that down. Looks great. I like the trot back. Really nice. And then they're taking it and peeling it around. Love that switch, but notice everyone made a slightly different choice, so I like that. But the commitment to the timing is what really helped us appreciate the individuality in that choice. Looks great, and I love that. That was cool. Once again, all individualized, but we all caught the same dynamic and texture, and we're letting that elbow guide us down. Like we finished taking that breath, and then once again, my feature commanded, even though everyone's moving, he commanded it through the sharpness of his individual movement, and everybody else kind of doing more of a pulse transition, and they're a little bit lower too. Then they build it up. Then you had one of your features down, everybody was up, and then the flip-flop. Very clear to see who is next. I like that. Da, 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 da. They go, they do a little barrel jump. Can we see it? Not really, because our camera guy said, whoop. But then we got it fixed. So good job, camera guy. I know that was probably something they were asked to do, but anyway, I think that's funny, pulling it through. Nice, nice expansion of the chest, really lifting with the shoulder, boom, pushing it back. Good job. And then they make it a nice moment to accent through. Ding, ding, love that. And then they take it down, pulsing. So it feels like we have a little bit more of this ebb and flow with the angst going in, with the staccato and sharpness in comparison to the previous pre-debut. I think it was Grr, right? Grr Beware. I think it was the last one I just looked at from Stray Kids. So it is fun seeing that through throw, and then the stability check, the lifting of the foot. Some of them are catering their weight more towards the pinky side, and that's something I'm always, you know, if you want to be more stable, it's always recommended to have your weight near the big toe or index toe right here versus over here, because here you're going to be more subjected to lose your balance. And it's training the muscles to react in a different way when you're on a stability check like that in comparison to where most dancers healthily cater their weight for consistency. And it's just a prettier line too whenever you don't have shoes on. So that's just my general note. I can see some of them tinkering more in that direction because a lot of their movement caters, like their weight is catered more towards that side, so it just naturally feels like you want to deviate your weight there. So, but I really like the isolated and syncopated choices that they did in that moment there. Hit, and I like with that feature, he takes it and he pulls the energy. So he pulls and everybody drops down. One of our new features come up. That was fun. DD, like that. They go walk back in. DD, some people miss that cue, but I mean, it is what it is. Just an observation. I'm not saying they needed to fix it. It's just something I noticed there. I like with our feature, boom, subtlety with the head, and then we take it, throw the energy in, doo-doo, DDD. I like that accent, really fun. The switch through, now this is a little speed change. What really makes this work is what your guys in the front are doing. Is he wearing air sessions? I think those are Nike Air Sessions. That's what Ken just came out with. Did they come out with those at this year? Was it that long? No, I don't think it was that long. No, these may not be. Complete side note, my apologies. They just look very similar to that. Those are a great shoe, by the way. Side note, from here, notice they pull forward. What happens is their weight. They're moving their weight. Most of it started right here on that knee, and then they catered it more towards the heel to the ball of the foot, and then they're going to bring it right back. Everybody operates that way. Back foot gets most of the weight, and then as you make it slower, you let the weight from the lower half go and promote first, and then your body takes the residuals or it echoes after it. So it's similar to when somebody like grabs you and pulls you, you notice your head's like secondary. It's like that. Your upper body is secondary to the weight shift that's happening in the lower body. So I like that choice and the commitment with the arm to really help accentuate that. Yeah, you notice they pull and they create like this openness or this airiness about it, so it justifies the legato or like that tension smoothness that's happening in the lower body. I like it. Then they accent, boom, I like that. Fun reset, nice in the staccato. Then I like what Stray Kids does in format, in these formations here. It could be a choreographer's choice, which I like, is that you have, you know, angles represented, and you don't have everybody, like, you don't have one line that's going a particular, you know, level, is you have multiple levels represented. So you have your feature, and then you have a new feature over here. He's the only one deviating from anything, but then you have everybody facing a particular direction and commitment, which is fun. honestly, everybody's facing the same direction except for these two guys right here, but it still works and it's balanced. And I think that's what makes it fun, is that the formation itself is symmetrical, to where when they deviate in this way, where you have two of them going off in the other direction, it creates a sense of variety and it makes you think. Because it just made me think, because I didn't even notice it, but it's very intriguing. It's different than what you normally see in a formation like this. So I like it. I like that choice. Da, 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 and then they go and they pull it in. I like that choice where they go do-do-do. What makes that so crisp and clean, I talked about it in the last pre-debut they did, was the beauty of having your head isolated without having anything else be influenced. That's what made that work. And if it is going to be influenced, everybody has to be influenced the same way so it feels intentional, which is, that's an example of right there. They go and they pull up, so yeah. Take it through. Boom, right here, BPM change. That's something I am just going to assume as a Stray Kids. I mean, a lot of people do BPM changes, but this one, it just feels, I catch it faster on Stray Kids tracks than I do on a lot of other groups. But I'm still very, like, I'm not a seasoned on a ton of groups as much as other counterparts are, but I'm doing a really, really great job on this. Accent there, boom, they take it, boom, nice little kick to get them to the floor. A shout out and rest in peace to their calves and their knees for that. If they land wrong, they probably had to land mix of the knee. They probably have bruises there, and where the shin is, a lot of times that's like a safer place to land. I like the kick here. Once again, they put their weight on the back leg to kick, and I like the switch there. They go, they take it, and now their weight is on the leg they just kicked out because it's back in. Then they bring it back in and they do a nice little rotation. Call that a little bridge recover. Now I will talk about this. Do you notice a lot of them have their feet turned out? I see this so many times. Here is the long-term thing to be aware of. If you're somebody that's ever tried doing this, which if you've covered these, you may have, just try to be mindful of this. I do train dancers to try to fix this because it can be a long-term issue, but short-term you can push through, no problem. With your hips, you notice where their knees are. Their knees aren't quite as following the track of the feet as effectively as if their feet were turned in for this moment. What happens is that they're going to be putting subconscious pressure on the inside of the knees, where over time that's going to cause fatigue and chronic pain. So that's something that we always try to tell dancers whenever they do this kind of bridge recover. Try to fight to keep your feet parallel because it's going to help with your overall alignment. That's something that's just across the board, especially in acro when you see gymnastics movement and prep work. That's something that you really look at for bridges, is what I look at. It's what I was trained to be, and I was certified in to look for. So that's just a side note entirely if you were curious. That's how this could actually be safer long term. Thinking about Stray Kids now, their bodies are older, and there's certain movements that may not feel quite as good to do in comparison to their rookie years. All groups go through that. And that would be something that I would tell them if I was in that position. I would say, hey, let's be mindful of this because we want to think about 30-year-old you doing this, not you just as a rookie. Because all of these routines that we see, and the beauty of the marathons is you're going to see movement quality mature and be more implicit and refined in the group. But something to really be mindful of is some of these movements that you're doing to kind of just get by, or you're executing it to get by, you're not thinking about the safety side of it, which as a performer, it's not, you don't really think about that. It's really people who choreograph or people who movement direct. That's more of their priority. All that to say that think about long term whenever you do these types of moves. If they hurt when you're doing it to begin with, imagine 5 years from now trying to do it, it could hurt even more, you know? So that's just a little side note. I'm curious if they have knee pain or anything. I hope not, but that would be something that I would tell them. So Stray Kids, if you ever watch this, try to keep your feet parallel when you do a bridge recover, and I think you'll feel better. It's going to take time to get used to, but it'll feel better in the long run. Oops. My bad. Here we go. Moving on. They roll up. I like this pull through. I like that choice as well. Boom. And then they go. Nice little running action for the transition. Looks great. Take it. Boom. Accent over. I really like the fact that I have seen more recent Stray Kids movement quality because it's fun to see the difference. Here in this case, they are a bit on the stiffer side. That's just what comes with singability too. When you have groups that sing, you're not going to be as loosey-goosey as other groups are, but that are known for more their physical stuff. Like their movement quality is really good, but I like the fact that I see who I see now of, yes, there's a lot of maturity behind their movement, and it's really fun to see the difference. It just is. I like it. And I know a lot of the things I'm talking about naturally get fixed. Now, how they're doing this move here is they're taking the weight on the heel of the left foot, and then they're also taking the ball of the foot. So that's where their weight is whenever they do that, and it goes in and out. And it's little things like that. It is important for them to have that rotation because of the same thing I just talked about in that bridge recover, their knees. If their knees are not going to be in line with the foot, it's bad news bears. It's just going to, you're just put a lot of subconscious strain on the lower half of the body. Now, in the case with this, I like the little puppeting influence here with the position. It's fun. Take it with a nice little rotation, and then they take it right here. This is what I found to be so interesting. They're doing a reject in the lower half of the body, but their body is rocking forward instead of back. I'm normally used to seeing people do it back, but it's more isolated, and they're trying to do more of an isolated wave of some kind. But actually, I don't even think they go for the wave. They go for just shoulder isos for that. I mean, it looks really cool and fun, but I just find it so intriguing for that part in particular. I haven't seen a reject done like that. So I find that more of a choreographic choice. It's more isolated, and it carries over into other things that we've seen from their movement quality. So, like the shoulders isos on that boom, boom, boom. I like the rock back. Hit subtlety here. They bring it, nice little gun in the top. District 9, I think it's like an actual like hand position. I can't quite pick up on it. That boom, I like the rock on that. That's cool. And then the only person who doesn't rock is your next feature. Love it. Really cool. Love the interruption of the levels to showcase what we did in the very beginning. Very nice. And it feels like we're connecting our dots here, or remembering what was captivating in the beginning, but they set it up differently. And that's what makes it work. Cool. Some of the range, of course, you notice with some of their choices. And when I talk about range, it's how you get from A to B, like in movement. So if this is A and this is B, how to get from A to B. Those things you notice with some of them, I mean, they get it all nice and clean. They get to the right spot at the right time, but some of them took a slower time to get there versus my other guys in front of them. But that's more observation. That's whatever, you know. So look, because where they set it up, one of them's already in front and one's over to the side, but notice he speeds it up to get to where it needs to go, and then the expansion out of the legs. And then it's cool having your feature right here, nice tone setting, and then you have your two right here complementing it, but representing 3 different levels. Love it. Looks great. Oh, I keep doing that. My apologies, guys. On that nice little pull up, everybody's doing the hands, but we're still establishing levels. I like that. And then, whoa, I like that. Fun little change there. Pulsing, that was really well done for my 2. They went up and then down. Everybody else went down and up. Little interruption showcases a subtle level change to establish difference between our feature and everybody else. Very good choice. I like this rock side to side. Looks really fun. Like this boom, fa da dum. That was also cool too. Hit it, throw. Very nice there. I like that. Do. So notice that you have my back group went from the front person to the back, and then my front group went from the back person to the front. So it created variety and opposition, but it's the same peel out and dynamic, so it's clean, but it's very easy. Your common denominator is your feature. Love it. Cool. And then they take it, because of how they set it up, it automatically created a nice opportunity to do something creative to come out of it. So they went one direction, and then they went the other direction. So that was cool. Fun. And they repealed it again, so it's not really technically a cannon, it's just an assisted ripple. That was cool. Then this right here, bah, da, 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 using a heavy rock. I have dancers that do this groove. It's a fun groove. You can travel far with it. It's a good basic groove or basic rock to do. I always say to really try to fight to hinge it as hard as you can, because it's better to go too hard and have to back off than not going hard enough. So it's good seeing that there. Everybody's matching their energy. Super cool. The drop down, they peel it from the front, but then it establishes and peels from front to back. Cool. New feature revealed. I like his accent throw with the shoulder and having everybody face the front from that as a result. That boom, boom. Cool. Love that. The kick. I like how he kicked it. Boom. Very strong on that. Very grounded on the finish there. He throws the arms to make a different choice on his 2 feature. Not his feature. In his feature moment, he used his leg to knock these guys out, his arms to knock these guys out. So it showcases that even though these guys technically did the same thing, it felt very different because of how the feature presented the energy push out. I liked that. It was cool. I like choices like that. That was also nice. Da-da-doon. Walk right there on tone. Super fun wordplay on that. Da-da-da-da-da. Now we can really, I can't avoid chuckling. I just find that very cute. It's just a cute choice for the camera person to do that. Notice we got to see the barrel jump a little bit more. Really fun way to expand the formation, but make it very interesting and very risk-taking, but in a safe way. It's a safe risk take. And then they take the arm up, they take it, and then they reverse it. Normally when you see this, you see people have like a heavier rebound out of it, but here they had to really engage the core to do a reversal, which was nice. Expand. Wow! Really nice crash there coming up. Really like that choice where they transition. Subtlety of the arms. Still something active going on, but it's not taking away from what is happening, and it doesn't make it feel boring like we're just moving to a new spot. We have something subtle that is engaging in presence. Love that. I like that. Boo, doo, 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 doo. Kind of feels like we're sharpening a sword, but I know that's more for God's menu, but I do like that choice here. Cool. Hitting it, he pulls it once again, so it's the same choreo as we saw in the first course, but the same note applies. They're maintaining the energy that is required to not make it look off or make it feel like, oh, we're losing energy. We don't feel like we have good stamina. So kudos to them for that and being and conserving when appropriate. The subtlety on that, now this part I couldn't quite read as much, so that was just an observation where they hit it more mid. Normally I see people expand it up, but here they hit it around the chest, and then they did it something really small with the head. That could just be angle, could just be where it's positioned. It could be a multitude of factors, and that's fine. I like the subtlety. Boom, they bring it closer together. There's your levels as well, and then they switch the legs, and then it goes through just like you did before. Cool. It low-key feels like deja vu is what we just looked at, which is a good thing, which means they're consistent. That's good. District 9, ding, 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 like that. District, boom, cool. Also something to note, I have talked about this before, maybe not on this video or videos with Stray Kids, but I have mentioned it with choreography. When you do choose to replicate it, if it's interesting enough, you could totally get away with doing the same format and you just chalk it up to just making sure stamina is maintained. And that's what we're seeing here. It is interesting enough in the choices and dynamics and formations and texture choices when applicable to where when they do it twice, it feels like we're in the course and I'm vibing with it because I'm able to find something new every time I watch it. And that's what shows that you're doing something right in terms of how you structure it. So this is a smarter, not harder type of format, and it works great. I think that's fine, and it trains their bodies to get familiar with those movements a little bit faster because their body is exposed to it more when they drill the choreo. So having this here, he goes, boom, hey, and I like how, I think that's Felix, and they go and they rotate it through. I like that. It feels like a little kai-bai bow with knives is what it feels like. Almost there. They go and walk around, and then, God bless it, the trust for making his feet not slam into his head. That, I bet that may have happened at some point when they were workshopping it. Or maybe they practiced before they put whatever features hanging out there. They all walk to the back except for this assisted lift. Very impressive. Now here it does feel like the momentum got to him a little bit and he hopped it, but then he easily recovered it, no problem. It's so minimal, more observational. I like the absence of movement in the back too, where they're just kind of standing there and letting the vibe promote forward. I think less is more, and I think it worked there. Nice little shoulder syncopation as they go and they promote it forward. Really good on the claps, and then they take a little envelope, so they kick that leg out and bring it back in. And take it in the da-da-da-da-da. Nice little punch there, and they take it, boom, swing it. Then we have nice levels represented. You have one of our features go front. You have some present their arms up. Everybody's presenting them up, but because it feels varied is because of the obvious level change. Really fun, and everybody's using their mirror, like a straight mirror. They're using their right hand, they're using their left hand. Cool. Very nice. Ding, 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 ding. Cool. Like it. Close it in. Boom. I like this. This is now turned into a cannon. I like it. It is a leveled cannon. It definitely makes and ups the ante on dynamics and digestibility and captivation because they're not all facing the same way. They're facing different ways, different levels. They also are having your front group go about 2 counts before the back group, but they're hitting the same part of the music. I really like this part. Super cool. swing and swing. Really fun with the swing and that second swing with the crash on the percussion. Boom. Really great transition choice. Cool. Ooh, I just hit my hand on my coffee cup. That's what that ding was. Okay, so we go and we swing. Boom. Really like that choice. And I like that right there. It's gonna happen. They go, drop to the floor. They get ready here. And they throw the camera up. That makes more sense. Throw that camera, guys. And then they take it and that leg shoots out and they slide, or not slide, they let the arms control the leg to bring it back in. Super cool. In, boom, expand that hand out. Boom, there's that. We're sharpening our finger sword. Cool, like that choice. And then having your features stay up, everybody else is down. And I love the spacing of this. It's really fun. And they throw that finger sword away. He says, boom, projection, presence, because we're so far away, but I can very clearly see that feature. So good job on his part. Subtlety of the head once again. This part doesn't really catch us off guard, but it doesn't feel overly manufactured either because we had a completely different setup to get into this. So that's kind of the format I'm looking at for this. Nice pop there, but it feels more communal in the pop, not isolated, because I think the second time my center guy had a heavier pop than those around him. This time everybody seemed to have a similar execution of the flexing of the diaphragm. Cool. Yeah, there we go. Nice. They're consistent. We'll give them that for sure. District 9, June, June, June. They're right here into this dance break once again. There's that switch. So they switch the feet out, and then they have to make sure that those hips are nice and pressed up in order for that out to happen as cleanly as it did. Then from here they go, they take it, they twist, and then they switch. I like that choice. It was clearer the second time than the first. They go rotate it up. Same note I'm going to make that before. Make it here. Just be mindful of where your legs are facing. I like the rotation, and then they drop it here. Take it through, boom, accent, boom with the shoulder, nice. Start running, run, and then they're building up the upper body as they're running, so I like that choice, it's cool. Boom, 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 sliding it over. Not punching it down, but placing it down, bringing it back. That, oh, cool. It does feel, honestly, in this part right now, it just looks like we're getting through the choreo versus it's a fun interrupted moment from what we've been working with so far. It is the same choreo that we've already technically seen from the first dance break, but near the end you do want to have some sense of like a like grit behind it. And yes, it does feel like movement, and it's still, once again, very, very similar to how they did it the first time. So kudos to them for a good job on the endurance and stamina. I really feel like people don't give them enough slack, like any group enough slack, for the fact that doing a one take full cam shot with no stops and a ton of stability checks, isolations, and fullness when needed, it's very fun. Right here into that interesting reject choice. Then they take it down and then they pull that energy after they do D. I like the shoulder rise and fall on that point. Ding, ding, boom. They hit it through, boom, and it's right what we saw before. District 9, and we finish. Here, and I even like how they commit all the way down. One of them takes it off, and then they go and they said, good? We're good? Let's go home. Like, I've been there too. That was a really, really fun debut, and I'm glad that they went this route because it did feel nostalgic to me from my time as a fan of Gen 2. So I really, really liked this. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I'm very happy to be on my marathon with Stray Kids. If you want to be a part of it in real time, I don't know if they're going to have a comeback while this marathon's happening. If they are, you may see this video and you may be like, I want in. It's on Patreon, ready for you to take a look at and enjoy. I love looking at groups from their debut up until their more recent work and seeing a large span of time and energy go into their movement quality and seeing them grow as artists, because I feel like I get to learn more about the fandom, the group, their discography, so much in an expedited time, and it's just really, really a joy to dive into. And if you want in, it's there on Patreon. If you just want to wait and see as they have comebacks, I release old content, where that'll totally fine as well for YouTube. Once again, my name is Jess. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.